Welcome. Good evening. I'm your host, Jake. We have a great show for you tonight. I am with, Janell Smith with Iron Dragon, but also many talented actors and actresses from these films that we're going to talk about tonight. So without further ado, we'll start with you, Janell. I'll have you tell them your name, where you grew up, and I want to know, your involvement as it has to do with the films tonight.
First of all, thank you for having us. Jake, you're so wonderful. The last time we were on the show, we had such a great time.
It was fun.
So yes, my name is Janell Smith, Iron Dragon Productions. I am a homegrown Austinite from Austin, born and raised. And my mom still lives in Travis Heights.
Nice.
So yes, and I'm here tonight to talk about my production company, my streaming platform, and I brought this beautiful crew tonight. They are some of the cast members in some of the films that I've worked on.
Hi, I'm Shannon Lepard. I was born in West Texas. I went to school in Forsan. I had 29 people in my graduating class. It was tiny. So most people know Big Spring.
Yeah.
It's the closest town. And I was the lead in Orias Project.
Nice.
My name is Juliet Chevelle. I'm also a homegrown Austinite. I play Nova in Nova and Bobby Newland in the Orias Project.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Sarah Jack. I was grew up in North Dallas. Wow. And I was one of the actresses in Orias Project, and I assisted with stunts.
Nice.
And I'm Sai Piña. I was born and raised on the border, or Texas border, in the Rio Grande Valley, McAllen, Texas, mostly. But I got family from all over and on the other side as well. So, 4956. And hola, toda mi familia que están viendo. Nos quiero mucho. And I play in Nova, I play Troy, and I play Halsey in Orias.
Nice. And these are great films. We're going to show you a little trailer here later. But before we get into the film, I just kind of want to know how we got to this point. We'll hand that yep. So tell us how, I know you grew up, I guess, in a tomboy?
Well, I should have. No, my parents were pretty strict about me wearing a bow in my hair and dresses all the time. But I've always been drawn to combat sports. So as a child, very active, gymnastics, baton twirling, cheerleading, you name it.
Yeah.
I've done everything. Dance as well. But I was always drawn to martial arts.
Yeah.
And as a young girl, watching Kung Fu theater every Saturday afternoon, that was my thing, and I thought that's what I want to do.
Yeah. So, growing up, not doing maybe the typical girl things, but taking you to wrestling, I think you said, and
my
boxing
dad.
matches.
Yes, I was.
So it got you that fighting spirit.
That's right. I was
And
really
then
close to my dad.
At what age do you come up with Iron Dragon and be like, I want to do, well, first of all, that's a very cool name.
Thank you.
So how did that start? Because that's just so big.
I started small.
Okay, that one step at a time.
One step
Very
at a
good,
time.
Very good.
Yes, I started with just starting the production company from my stunt background. So actually from my martial arts, I've always loved training. And my instructor, my master, Grandmaster Yi, worked on Sin City in Austin with Robert Rodriguez and Frank Miller. They're both... Frank Miller and Devon Aoki are both honorary black belts in Tukong. I don't know if you guys knew that. Yeah. So yes, they earned their black belt and they
I got my black belt on.
You do?
Yes. Not the same. All right. I didn't earn. I just walked into a store. Anyway, I bought mine.
After that, we had a lot of actors come to the school wanting to train with him. So that opened the door for fighting stunts. So we created fighting stunts at our school, and that opened the door for me to work in film. So I also did a lot of stunt work myself. Going through the process, working in film, I realized I want to produce.
Yeah.
This is fun. This is
Got bit by the
pretty
bug.
cool. Yes. I love creating.
Yeah.
And, being an artist. I think working in film is like the ultimate because you have the visual, you have the sound, you have everything. So that was.
It's cool
that
to
was the
see
start.
something at the end because when you're in the minute, all of you, when you're acting, it just seems so sterile and it's cool, but it's just what it is. When you see it on the big screen with the sound effects, because sound is everything. Have you watched a movie with no sound? It's like weird, very weird. With no sound effects, it would be weird, very weird. So then you started doing the stunts and the what's the, I always want to say karate, but I know that's not the right word.
Tukong Musul.
And what is the difference between karate, taekwondo, and that?
It's basically just like there are languages. We
Okay.
have so many different languages. It's just another form of martial art.
Okay.
And the best way to explain it is we study distance theory. So we do we do from punching, kicking, weapons, to whereas a lot of martial arts, it's only one one distance. Like Taekwondo may just mostly be kicking. Jiu-Jitsu is just ground. So we do a little bit of everything.
What about Miyagi-Do? The Karate Kid. I'm joking.
Yeah. I haven't heard of that one.
Okay, so you're doing, got your karate stuff or
Tukong.
martial arts. You got your martial arts. That's the safe
That'll
word.
work. That'll
got
work.
your martial arts.
Yes.
Then you start doing the stunts. Then you got into the film, so you're choreographing.
Yeah.
And then you go to then you escalated up to the streaming. Is that the
So after working in film and doing stunt choreography, usually when I work on a film, I will also do the stunt portion of it. But I realized that there was not a channel or a designated streaming platform for action film, for martial art film. So I was approached. I was at the Producer Guild event in LA, and I had some people approach me because they knew I'd trained in martial arts. And they said, how about let's start a martial arts channel? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So that was the first company, Ultraflix, kind of commissioned me to help them get
Set it
action
up.
film and as many films as possible. So we started that. And under that, I was able to use Iron Dragon TV. And then I decided to branch out on my own. And here we are today. I do TV flicks and Iron Dragon TV.
Nice. And we'll probably put up the link there. So let's go take you to today.
Yep.
Your last two films that you worked on. And what's the, how did you personally, and then we're going to ask them, but how did you personally get involved with the Nova film and Orias project?
So I reached out, Dana Cowden actually had put out, I believe on Facebook, needing someone for stunts and about the Nova project. And I've always been drawn to science fiction. I'm a martial artist, but I also love sci-fi. So I saw that and I thought, oh, this is great. I can do
all your
stunts,
loves.
everything, in one stop. So I reached out to her and, here we are 3 projects later.
I love that how, in Hollywood and even music bands too, when you get to know a producer, director, or musicians, you want to always work with them.
Yes.
And you'll see a theme tonight with these guys appearing in all these things. And probably going forward, you love them and you want to work with them all the time.
Yes.
So you're on, let's just talk about Nova first, because that's the first film we're going to do a trailer for.
Great.
How do you, so the script says, then they fight at the thing, and then you come in and you're like, okay, guys, how are we going to do this? You're going to be, you plot it out. They're going to be coming from this hallway. Yeah. That's got to be fun to design.
Oh, it is. It is. A lot of times, a lot of directors will just put fight scene and leave it up to me. It's like, oh, I can get creative. Yeah. And Dana was a little bit more specific in what she wanted, which was great because it gave me more direction. And then immediately I have the actors come and start training because I want to see how they move. And then I can take their basic movements and just elaborate to make them look really
Capitalize
good.
on what they're good at.
Yes.
Yes. And so basically it's like, fight however you want, but this person's dead at the end, or this is the only person walking out of the room.
Yes.
However the cards may fall.
Exactly. Well, you have to follow the script and follow the storyline. So, some of the actors know, there's a winner in this fight scene and someone's going to be, ending up on the ground.
Yep. Now, is there a difference between, and I don't mean this in a sexist way, but just because we're all different, is there a difference between when you train, maybe not for the fight scene, but just in your martial arts stuff, when you're training female versus male fighters, because we all have our strengths.
Yeah.
The girls can do things that I can't do, vice versa.
Right.
how do you incorporate that, or how do you?
Yeah, I think when people start training, just in general in martial arts, they're wanting to learn more about themselves. So it's a way of discovery. I find that martial arts on the philosophy side and the physical side, you're learning who you are, and how you can move and what's going to suit you best. So that is true. I'm going to move differently than you move, and I'm going to train slightly differently than maybe you would. Yeah. But we work on your strengths.
Yeah.
So.
And spoiler alert, we're going to have a fight scene at the end of this. Yeah. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Okay. So we've talked a little bit about Nova. Okay. Let's play the trailer, and then we'll come back and talk to them about that. So great. Calvin, whenever you're ready, this is Nova.
Is the upgrade complete?
You're a new woman.
Nova can be an asset to you. No one knows this ship like she does. Every inch is programmed into her.
Yeah, well, let me know when you can program responsibility and morality into her.
What does it feel like to be an android?
It's just another program, really. You are actually experiencing feelings.
Does Abilene know about these changes?
It would never harm anyone.
You wouldn't understand.
Maybe because we shouldn't be experimenting.
Warning light in the cargo bay.
Darwin, solar flare level X-28. Imminent danger.
Warning. Life support failure.
All crew, brace for impact.
Daddy!
Nova.
Man. So I was actually able to see this film. I enjoyed it. I was not expecting, because it was a sci-fi, to be so funny. There were some funny So by the way, let's talk about the cast, and then I'm going to ask you, specifically about you. But let's talk about who's the guy, the other guy, the cowboy. Yeah, the cowboy.
That's Chase Pollock.
Golly, he had some great one-liners, and he was trying to hit on the pilot girl. Oh my gosh,
we all love Chase.
Yeah, and he was like, "Hey, do you think I got my chances?" Like, your chances are not good. So, and then let's go, and then Doc. So, what are the other characters?
Mm-hmm. You have Doc. You have Lene. You have a few of the robots, and then you have a talented Sky Strachey in there as well.
Right. Nice. Okay. So before we get into the movie part, I'm going to ask you this because I know, you've done I want to know more about the writing and modeling that you have in your past. And did the modeling lead to acting? Like, what was the progression?
A great question. I originally got my start in cosplay. And I was a super geek nerd growing up, and just absolutely fell in love with sci-fi, with comics, all of the above. And it was birthed out of passion. Okay. And so I wanted to go out to San Diego Comic-Con, and my best friend got tickets, which was just an accomplishment by itself. Yeah. And well, we're going to Comic-Con. We can't not cosplay. Come on, who are we, right? Yeah. And so
we're gonna nerd out.
Exactly, right? So we went out, we created cosplays, and we went 3 years in a row, and that got some attention there, and then that led into a little bit of modeling, which then ultimately bled into film.
That's so cool. So, all right. And by the way, I wish we had the picture of who's the character that the blue. Mm-hmm. What's that character name?
Mystique in Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah. And, okay, so that got you. Okay, I was trying to think of the progression. And also, nationally ranked athlete?
Yes.
Hello. What was this in?
I was a competitive swimmer for about 11 years.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And honestly, it's a great transition. You meet in this industry a lot of people who started out as athletes, and then that was a springboard for them to go into film. And there's so many similarities there. Yeah. Just in swimming or in running, right? Ready, set, action, right? It's very similar, even in the wording, the tempo, the training hours and hours to just have a moment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that the acting stands on its own, but the fact that you were a swimmer and, active in a lot of other stuff totally helps you with the stunt work. And what you also do the martial arts as well.
I train with Master Janell Smith. I'm an orange belt currently.
That's a good connection to have, I imagine.
Yeah.
So wait, so you were already starting acting and then you did martial arts, or or were you doing martial arts and then?
So the bridge was actually Nova. So Master Janell came on board with Nova, and I was cast in the film. And then she invited us out to start training in Tukong and getting ready for that part. And so after we filmed, I went, hey, this is a fantastic program. The expertise at Tukong Austin is just, I mean, it's amazing. And I went, well, this is fantastic. I enjoy it, and it's so helpful for film, and I'm bridging in that competitive element. So it just all tied itself up nicely.
That's cool. And so you still do cosplay?
Not so much recently. Most of the time, my time's taken with film and with writing, but I have a heart for it. I love it so much, and maybe in the future.
There you go. And so with Nova, because that was great, man. I loved your part. What did you enjoy most about that? Because it's got to be different playing that character versus a normal speaking, a normal role of a human. So I mean, how fun was that? Was that like, did you feel like you had to hold back? Because or maybe acting non-human was hard. I don't know.
Well, it was really interesting for me because it was the first time I had ever spoken on camera. Oh. It was also the first time I'd ever done like a full-length narrative film. And so not only was the study of Nova just as an android fascinating, it was also interesting to learn how to shoot out of order and be a little bit more human or a little bit more android. And that was challenging. But Nova, she's such a fun character. It's really interesting to explore the dynamic of like cognitive intuition and understanding within an android. And then as you get into the story, you start learning that she's starting to perform more and more at a human capacity of understanding. And so how do you bridge that? What is cognition to begin with? What is sentience? And so exploring those questions and diving into that deeply it was so fun. And I nerded out again.
At first, and emotional. But man, that scene when you were like, now I know why humans cry. I was, they have to let it out. Like, yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. And Sai?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you first. Phone-wise, are you Android or Apple? Because this is very important. I know you better have the right answer for this.
As of right now, I am an iPhone guy. I know.
Wrong answer.
I know.
You're an Android, remember? All right. No, just kidding. You play a good Android, by the way. I wish I would have seen more of you in that movie, but you kind of came late into the script. So I know, she does swimming and a lot of other stuff. You did a lot of dancing. What kind of dancing and how did you get into that?
So I started dancing when I was younger. I taught hip hop for a while. I taught Zumba hip hop for a while as well. I did that through grad school. And the way dancing actually correlates a lot with stunt training or stunt choreography it's in what I said, right? Choreography. So a lot of it is timing, understanding the partner that's in front of you and the dynamic of how they move, their speed, their body language, because it translates to real fighting, right? You're on the street, you see somebody, you see them tense up, you see them start to shake, and the punch is coming, So it's the same cues kind of with dancing. Eyes widen up, and they kind of give
tails.
You those tails. So it translates really, really great. Salsa merengue, I was real big into those. Two-stepping, we're in Texas, so you gotta love two-stepping.
I got salsa dancing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I need to learn how to dance. I'm single, and I hear everybody's like, all the girls, Jake, you gotta learn how to dance.
Gotta learn how to dance.
Because every girl wants to dance. And you're like, you don't have to be good, just dance, just do it.
When I was younger, my English wasn't good, but my dance skills were. So
there you go.
It helped, brother, it helped.
The language of love. So, and then what other sports? You did some other sports in high school?
Yes, sir. So I ran track and field for the University of, what's UTPA, now it's called the University of UTRGV. And then I played basketball for the University of Incarnate Word. And I went, basketball was my first love. It's what gave me my Mamba mentality. It was my world. I lived, breathed it. but went all the way to semi-professional level before COVID happened and right before I started acting.
Okay. Yeah, that was exactly my next question. So how did you get into acting? What was that like? You know, was it something you always wanted to do, or how did a opportunity present itself for you to do this?
So it's actually something I've always kind of wanted to do, kind of on the back burner. Like I said, basketball and sports was my entire life.
Yeah.
I became a physical therapist, literally got my doctorate in how the body moves because I'm obsessed with how the body moves. So when I kind of hung it up for basketball, my baby sister actually, it's a funny story, but true story, she actually wanted to try acting classes. Oh. And I was like, okay, cool. She's like, well, you're going to pay for it. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense why you're calling me. Yeah, it makes sense why you're calling me. So we looked at some classes and sure enough, time came. She got a little nervous. She didn't show up. I did. And it was, whoa, this is pretty cool.
Whoa, wait. Yeah. So you were going to take her to an audition or something?
So it was over Zoom. It was over Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she still lives in the valley. Mm-hmm. So the teacher was like, go ahead and come back on Thursday with your sister. She didn't come back again for the second time. But the very first time, like Juliet was saying, the very first time I heard, all right, camera rolling, sound speed, action. It was like the very first time I heard on your mark, set, and so it was just, everything in my life kind of came to a point where I was like, oh man, this makes sense. Yeah. This makes sense. That's awesome. I went as far as I could here. I went as far as I could here to lead me to here, Rascal Flats, The Broken Roads. That led me to here.
And was Nova your first film?
So Nova was the first film I was ever cast for. I casted that, and I got very lucky very early on in my career. I got Nova, and then within that same week, I actually got casted for Ebony Hustle, where I played alongside the lead. I was the lead's, one of the leads, I guess flings, you would say, yeah. So, but yeah, that was fun. But Nova was the first one where I got to do my stunts and fighting, and I got to meet Janell.
Yeah. So I'll ask you the same question. Was it hard to play an android?
So it was interesting. It was fun. The very first time I read that I'm a guy.
Yeah.
So Terminator.
Yeah.
Right away. Hasta la vista, baby. Yeah. I was ready. I was all in for it. But then as I read the script and as I broke down the character and really got to know who Troy is and his part of the army that was being built, because it's really what she was doing, right? Sky.
Yep.
Was building an army. So I was a labor droid, so I wasn't as advanced as the other beautiful androids were. Mm-hmm. I was just kind of the muscle, right? So I kind of took it at that approach, and where I was more of, in a sense, the little brother, right? So I'm
go do that.
Yeah. And then it gets to the point where I see one of my sisters, one of my family, being put down. Like a better way to put it. Yeah. So it kind of changes my perspective, and that's where Sky comes in and is able to sway me to become the later android.
There you go. That's such a good film. Let's, with this film, who did the costume, like the costuming? That was pretty interesting too.
Dana was pretty much. Dana was pretty much in charge of costuming. She's the brainchild, and that's why I was so excited to start working with her, because we both love sci-fi, and she had some amazing ideas from costume, sound, music, just how the look and feel, everything is her imprint. Dana Cowden Heath of Buffalo Productions, and she's amazing.
That was great. Great film.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to the next project. Okay. So this is Orias. Which the spelling really tackles me, but that's fine.
Yes.
It's space agey, so it's going to be difficult to say. I'm not there yet. So tell us kind of quickly, and then we're going to watch the trailer, but what's this about?
It's another sci-fi, and actually I'm going to let the lead actress...
There you go.
So the Orias project, I see something that I was not supposed to see, and so I am sent to this space station away from my children, and in essence, it's the plight of me trying to get back to my children. And it's a rather small cast, and so there's a lot of dynamics going on between the other characters and how life is on that station. But it's got a lot of action in it. It's my favorite type of film, sci-fi. So I don't know if that was a decent enough.
That's perfect. That is perfect.
All right.
Yes.
And that's a good lead-in.
It is, yes.
Now we're going to watch the trailer, and then we'll be right back.
After the war that raged across the galaxy, I took a job so I could be at home on Earth with my girls. We were finally healing. But the company had a secret.
There was something you weren't supposed to see. What was it?
Where am I?
Welcome to the Rock Yard.
Who's there?
Stay out!
How long will we have?
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, that looks good.
Nice. You know what was great when I watched that trailer the other day? I was like, I know him. I know her. I know her. I know. So cool. So let's talk. Well, I'm going to go back to your childhood a little bit too.
Sure.
I know when you were a kid, you were always acting. Like were you the kid that, like, Mom, Dad, we're going to do a little play or something like that?
Oh yeah, my mom put me in dance classes whenever I was 3, and then in kindergarten I did my first play. And as I said, I went to a really small school, so we got to do everything.
Yeah.
So I was in UIL competitions since the first grade. So I've always been doing some type of performance art, and did it in high school and college, and then I moved to Austin and started doing camera work.
Oh, you started out behind the camera.
No. Just started training for camera,
okay.
and
Like,
rather
wow.
than like in the theater and live performances.
So I understand also that you do fire twirling.
Yes, I do.
So we have a
I
fire
loved
twirler.
hearing
We're
that you.
bring that out. No, I'm just kidding.
I was just doing it yesterday, actually.
How did you get into? Because that's a really probably unique. It's not everybody can do that.
I was a baton twirler in high school. I loved hearing that you were a baton twirler. I didn't know that about you. But yes, so I was professionally trained in summer camps, and it's something that's become a fad these days.
Yeah.
And so people
You see it in clubs.
So I didn't realize that how much. I mean, I knew that people liked it during halftime and stuff, but I didn't realize it was something that I could keep entertaining people with. And so we'll go glamping and I'll bust them out and stuff like that.
That's awesome. Invite her to the next. Yeah. So, and your resume very big as well.
Thank you.
What you tell them, kind of like, you've done a lot of sports.
Sports, yes. I loved basketball. Actually, that was my first love as well. I was a gymnast whenever I was younger, and yeah, I mean, I got to do everything because I went to a small school. So I did tennis and I did, track and basketball. And we didn't have many other sports besides that, actually. But then I absolutely loved it whenever we started doing Tukong. I did not realize how much I would gravitate toward it, and especially the philosophy piece of it. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I agree. So, obviously acting is taxing on the body, martial arts taxing on the body. So how well does that, help you going into the stunt part of acting? It's got to be, because I don't think just a normal actor wouldn't be able to do what you guys were doing. in these films?
We had a good teacher, that's for sure. And we had started as soon as I was cast. We were invited to start training. Yes, we were invited to start training at the Tukong studio, and I think it was a little easier for me because I did have a background as a gymnast and dancer, and yes, in sports, and so I kind of had that muscle memory of how to move. But I definitely learned a lot, and I really enjoyed it. But it does, because as an actor, our body is our instrument, and so it always behooves us to keep it finely tuned, and it can be nice to learn new ways to make that happen, to just keep it interesting instead of always running or lifting weights, to be able to transition. To be able to transition into Tukong was really exciting for me.
And I'm going to tease you a little bit here. You do accents, talking about, not doing one thing. So what's your favorite accent, and like, how did you get into doing the accents, and is there a trick?
I think I've always had an ear for accents, and I would say that my favorite accent is the British accent.
Like a spot of tea, please. One lump or two.
It's an easier one, isn't it? Yes. But I think I just have an ear for it. My cousins and my sisters, we used to play with that growing up. My daughter also has an ear for it. And so as I was doing different classes, for instance, like I had an Irish character, I was cast 3 in a row. And so I learned that accent. And so she'll chime in with me and we'll just play around. And I think it's something that that you kind of, the more you use it, the easier it is for you to learn the nuances and to remember to make those different sounds, I guess.
Dialects and all that.
It just helps you. The more you do it, the easier it is to learn new ones.
And I didn't even think about this until we're talking about now, but knowing that, because if any of you on a film, if they said, hey, you're from Jersey, that's something you got to immediately start researching, but to be practicing it and doing it in your vernacular, that's really good.
Absolutely. And it's really helpful, apparently, that sometimes they don't even, it can work against you in an audition to do an accent badly, but it's helpful for them to know that you have an ear for it and that you'll be easy to teach. Because sometimes they'll want you to work with their own dialect coach, because not all Texas accents are the same, and so they want you to learn.
You're doing West Texas, I want East.
100%. Yeah. I remember whenever they were casting Bernie, they were very specific about that. They said, do not come to us with a West Texas accent. We know what the difference is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Very good, very good. All right. Sarah.
Hello.
I want to talk a little bit about your background and stuff, and how you got it. How did you get into the film industry?
I would say college. So I went to school primarily for dance, but I was a very nerdy, heady person, and so I got along much better with the actors. And everyone always needs an extra person to hold a thing, light a thing, be in a light. And I was often that clutch person where it was like, oh my goodness, we don't have Sarah. Are you free?
Yeah.
Like Friday, we'll pay you in food. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I started getting into it.
That's awesome. And now, how do you approach? And you're in Orias.
Yes.
And also, but not just like acting, but you're helping.
Yes.
So how did you? That's pretty cool.
Thank you. How did I get to Arias, or how did I get to helping Master Janell?
Both. Well, I guess Arias first, and then you probably met her.
Yeah, well, no. So Master Janell actually pulled me into Arias.
Oh.
Yes.
So just like you were saying with the drama people pulling you into,
yes,
hold this, do that. She pulled you in, hold this, do that.
Yes. But it was funny because Tukong, I actually got pulled into from film. So my partner at the time was in Korea, I think with you also, Master Janell, and Headmaster Ali, his wife is a cinematographer, and they were looking at doing a pilot for a show. And they were all chatting, and they were like, wow, we really need someone who's like half Korean, half not Korean. And Eric was like, oh, I know someone. And he just texted me. He goes, hey, what's your ethnicity? And I go, it's a lot, but I just tell people German and Korean. And he's like, great. And then 2 weeks later, I had a little audition and I got the part and I started training Tukong, and then COVID hit. So the part never went anywhere. But I got to start training, which I really needed at that point in time in my life.
Yeah. And we were talking earlier about how awesome, and you've done you're an athlete as well. Being an athlete helps release endorphins. Not only is it good for the ego, and then martial arts does all kinds of things, but it's amazing how good it is for our health.
Yes.
General health. And not in just the muscle aspect, but just mentally, how good that is for us.
Yeah, I always, some days are hard to get out of bed, but I tell myself, if I can get to training, that's the most important part of my day.
Yeah.
So if I go and I train, then I've had a successful day.
Yeah.
Because I'm investing in myself.
And, get your blood flowing.
And it gets my blood flowing and the
sad.
endorphins.
Yeah.
I am an endorphin and adrenaline junkie. It's how I get into most things.
Yeah. So what's this circus arts?
Yes. So I went to school for dance, and my mom was worried and was like, "What's your backup plan?" I said, "Don't worry, I'm going to do acting." But before I got into acting, I know it made her feel wonderful. Yeah. And I'm kind of I'm one of 8 kids, and I like to joke that I'm a bit of a problem child because I did that. So she's worried about me financially, and then I'm at UT, and I did one of their projects, and I got into duo acro.
Your Asian mom?
This is my Asian mom, yes.
So that means a lot.
It does. It does.
That's not just a regular mom who's worried about her child.
Yes.
This is an Asian Korean mom mostly?
Vietnamese, Korean, Chinese, Asian mom, military dad.
I mean, I joke, but that's a real thing, I hear.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, it is. And so I was doing a project at UT where we had to go out into the city and find a community. And I stumbled upon the acro circus community. And I started doing acro, and then I started doing circ arts, and then I got into fire spinning. So after being thrown in the air, my mom, she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I learned to fire breathe last week. It's great." No insurance.
Yeah.
Still in school, waitressing to pay my way through my student loans. Yeah. But again, most of the time, anything I've been drawn to in life is here's this really cute person who also does this thing. Mm-hmm. Do the thing so they like you.
Yeah, yeah.
Or here's this thing that's going to give you a lot of adrenaline.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Is that like acro yoga?
Yes, acro yoga.
Yeah, I did that for a while.
Yeah.
You put people
acro
in
yoga,
poses. It's super cool.
It's a lot of fun. And I'm going to be teaching at New York Acro Fest in July.
Very cool. Now, I didn't really get that good. But I did it for a while. In fact, we did a show. We had some of the local, really good people.
Do you remember their names?
I remember Robinson was the something Robinson.
Jeremy Robinson.
Yes.
Yes, I do know. I do know Jeremy. Mm-hmm.
He was out. And there was.
Was it Noah Shipley?
No.
No, different group. We're just
could have been. This was 7 years ago.
It's a really small community.
Really
it's a very small community.
They were flipping up. Yeah, it was really
I
cool.
love that.
It was really cool. So I know that all of that obviously helps you with stunts in acting. What was did you help set up some scenes for the Arias?
Just a few. I think the day it was actually a day I was supposed to be kind of body doubling. So I was body doubling, for Shannon. And Master Janell there was an emergency that popped up. And so I helped step in to be coordinator on set for that day. So they had most of it mapped out. And so I was really there to keep an eye on for safety. And so along with choreographing, one of the most important things a coordinator can do on set is they're the advocate for the actors.
Oh, yeah.
So the director can be free to go, I want this, I want this, I want this. The coordinator is the anchor and can say, great, what are you wanting to achieve with that idea? And then they can work within the abilities of the actors and set everyone up for success.
And speaking of being an advocate, what would you say, what advice would you give to an aspiring, actress wanting to get into this?
Believe in yourself and just do it. I started many things really late, and I think I'm going to just do the Tukong philosophy because it resonates with my own philosophy, is that if your heart, your body, and your mind are all focused in one direction, anything can be accomplished.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
That's awesome. I didn't tell her to say that.
No, she didn't. It was. I was gonna say something akin to, and I was like, "This is just easier." It's very poignant.
Yeah, and then this is kind of for all of you. What has your experience been? I know some of you are in different stages of acting, but acting in Texas, or since you got the microphone first, and then we'll go down to you guys. What has your experience been in Texas? And do you have, aspirations to maybe leave, to go to Hollywood or whatever?
My experience so far in Texas has been really great. I'm currently not represented. Hello. Hi, hello. And it's a very small community, and it's very tight knit. So you can get a lot of work going from set to set to set, person you know, person you know, person you know. On the flip side, you can lose a lot of work if you do not show up well.
Oh, so if you're going to do it, do it.
If you're going to do it, do it and do it well.
Because if you're counting on someone and they're not there, even if it's the most minute thing, you need every one of those positions is important.
It's a lot of jobs on the line.
Crafts, everything. Yeah.
Acting is just a big group project.
Yeah.
And we all know how much we love those in school.
Yeah. And since you got the microphone, then we'll have you all repeat. Let's give, if someone was trying to get a hold of you, or where's your information at? About your acting?
So my information, my website is sarahjack.me, and then on pretty much every social platform, that is also my handle. So Instagram's a way to get a hold of me, or just go to my website and fill out one of the contact informations. That's my IMDb.
Okay.
I got one thing right.
There you go. Sai?
So same. If you're looking for me, you can IMDb me, Sai Piña. That's SAIPINA. And then for my Instagram as well, that's going to be Sai, SAI_PINA. So,
and Texas has been good to you?
Yes. So Texas, yeah. I love Texas. I'm a Texas boy.
Yep.
I'm born and bred here. With Texas, it's a lot of indie film.
Oh, okay.
So with Texas, what you come across is a lot of passionate people.
Yeah.
And with passionate people, it grows not only your ability as an actor, but it grows your ability to understand both sides of the camera.
Yeah.
Because you're able to speak a little bit more to the directors, the producers.
You can probably build relationships easier because it's a smaller scale versus Hollywood. It's like, just do this, no one's talking. Yeah. Okay.
100%, and you do run into something. I did a Western not too long ago, Killing Jim Kelly, with John Mars. And there is a sense of understanding, like, okay, there's a scene. Would it look good? And you're like, yeah, I'm going to try it. I'm on horseback. They want me to do something crazy. They want me to jump on a horse from the ground. Let's do it. And you get that sense because they believe in the project. They believe in you.
Right.
And then you start to believe in the project and you believe in them. Right.
Nice.
You take it on because of that, but it grows as the project continues.
Juliet?
You can find me at Juliet Chevelle pretty much on all platforms. I am IMDb included. Texas, I'm a Texas girl as well. Born and raised. So
did you do pageants?
I did not.
I could totally see you.
I have to perfect the hand wave. Yeah, it's a really awesome community here. I find a lot of people went out to LA, did their time, and then came out to Austin the moment they could. And so there's a lot of professionals here who absolutely bring it to the table and know their stuff. And it's a great environment to cultivate talent, cultivate, people who are trying to get in behind the camera, in front of the camera, because they're really, really nice people here. And it's very welcoming to the learner, to the student. But they're people who know their stuff. And the market is growing just by the day. We have studios going in Bastrop and in La Cima and all of that. And we've got our incentives. So I think the future looks bright for Texas.
Nice. You got East Coast, Gulf Coast, or East Coast, West Coast. Now we got Gulf Coast going. That's right.
Third Coast.
Shannon? Yeah, Third Coast. There you go.
They used to actually call us the Third Coast, yes.
There you go.
And I am looking forward to some of that coming back. Whenever I first moved to Austin in '99, they called us the Third Coast because there was so much work here. I remember a lot of series, like major series being shot here. And then everybody figured out the tax incentive thing. So I'm super excited that we're back in the game with that now. And as she said, we've got some amazing production studios coming in. So I'm excited about it. I've also really enjoyed working in Texas. It's easy enough, especially after COVID with Zoom. It really opened up the borders. There's so much more self-tape requests going out that it's easy enough for us to book a job in Georgia or in Hollywood. And so I'm definitely open to that as well and have been doing some auditions for that. But I love Austin. I really do. It's a wonderful city. It's the best place to be in Texas. And in my opinion, and Yeah, we've got amazing crews.
Yeah.
We've just got a great infrastructure. We've got great teachers. So I don't know. I'm all about staying in Texas, to be
from
honest.
all of you, from every one of your answers, I can tell that Texas sounds like a good entry point into this industry because there's fewer, LA, you're nothing. Like there's so many people.
Yep.
Like you were joking, like if there's an Asian part, I'm going to get it, me or two other people, so that's cool. It's a good entry point. Let's have you, in your expertise, set up a little fight scene because I want to do that before the clock gets ahead of us.
All right.
ShannonLepard.com, though.
Oh, yes.
Like the cat, but no O. So there you go.
There you go. And I'll keep this for a while until we're ready to do the actual.
All right.
So a general, how you got your actors.
Yep. Okay, so we're playing to the camera. So I think,
It's going to be this one mostly. Yep.
Okay,
That
good
one behind
angle.
you.
So who's going to throw the first punch? You're going to throw the first punch.
I'm
Oh,
antsy.
this-
I'm ready to
Yeah.
go.
Okay. So
And I got her behind
punch.
me, so I'm
There you go.
confident. She's
There
my
you
back.
go.
She's my muscle.
So punch and kick. Sai's going to come back with a counter punch, and then Sarah's going to come in and rescue you.
Never had one lesson. No, just one.
50% first time, 50%.
Yeah. Boom.
And scene. However you do it. All right. So you were saying 50, like you want to do it faster this time?
You want to give one more
Okay.
go?
You ready? Okay.
You want to give one more go?
Boy, now I know why you guys need to be trained in this. Like, this
Come
is
on,
gassing
Jay.
me.
Come on, Jay.
Oh, you want
Yeah,
some?
I want some.
Oh. Come on, get up,
I
boy.
don't think you should.
Oh.
Low shot,
You
Jay.
really don't know what you're doing. He's just.
Come here. That's what I forgot was that.
You got to make the sound.
Yeah.
Sound effects. Sound sells everything.
That was good.
Good job.
Yep.
Good work.
Thank you.
We all have different handshakes.
Bow. That was so fun.
You got your warm up.
Yes. So how many fight scenes are in Orias?
Oh, that's
More
a good
than
I have the
a
most.
a lot more than Nova.
Yeah.
Yes. How long did you guys train for Orias? Do you remember?
4 months.
How long?
4 months.
Oh wow. So each scene, you might dedicate a few days or a week or whatever and just nail it, like get it down.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dana Cowden Heath did a great job of making sure we blocked out either 3/4 of a day or half a day to make sure that we got those scenes locked in.
Yes.
Which was great.
Yeah. But they put in the hard work
Yeah.
first, all of the training.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
I'm like we're breathing different.
You ready to go again?
No.
It's intoxicating.
Shannon, you said you enjoyed playing a schizophrenic.
I
how
did.
was that?
That was my favorite role. It was. And I think so in acting classes, they always talk about having a childlike mentality. And I think that was my favorite thing about that role is that it was just no holds bar. Anything that my imagination could conjure up was fair game. And it played so beautifully on camera. And, I didn't have to worry about tics or quirks or moving smoothly because it lended to the situation, to the character to be glitchy sometimes. So yeah, that was my favorite role.
Oh yeah, if you had a quirk, just played right into the whole.
100%. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And also I just thought it was interesting to dive into that world. My father's a psychologist, so I had a little more probably background than some people do.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was a really interesting character to explore.
That's so cool.
It was called sorry. It actually they never finished it. It was one of those that just didn't make it past the shooting it. Yeah. It was called Last No Samaritan. That's what it was called. Because my character was picked up on the side of the road and to be driven home, and so he should not have been a Samaritan, I guess, was a good Samaritan.
You have to get your role for that.
Yeah.
You gotta bring it
Juliet,
back.
do you fight in this next movie, in the Orion?
To be determined.
Oh. By the way, so how far are we in the? Is this written, being shot? Like what? Yes.
Is in post.
So it is done being shot.
It's done,
Okay.
locked. I think picture is locked. I'm hoping
Yeah.
July. So picture is locked. Hopefully we'll have a screening in July.
And by the way,
and we want to invite you guys out
Yeah,
to the
that would
red
be
carpet.
fun.
So we'll let you know when we have the red carpet.
And no fighting.
No fighting. You don't have to fight. Yes.
What? So Nova. What was the? Did you go to festivals? Like what was the end result? Like
For Nova?
Nova.
Okay. Nova, we did do some festivals, several festivals, and, several awards.
Awesome.
Do you guys remember offhand? I mean, there was a lot. There was a
Okay.
lot of awards. So,
No, just Las Vegas Indie Film Festival.
Yes,
We
yes.
just won Best Feature.
right.
For Nova.
For
That's
Nova.
awesome. Wow. So, and awards are awesome. And we were just talking, how is there no award for stunts? How, like,
That's
seriously,
gonna change.
I was like, no, you're wrong. There's no way.
I know.
How is that possible?
No Oscar, no Academy Award for stunts.
Look at any movie.
I
It's
know.
the fight scenes.
Every movie just about.
Jackie Chan would have been the most decorated.
Yes, yes, right. Period. Yes, but we're hoping that will change. People are working really hard. There's a lot of stunt organizations that are rallying to get us an Oscar, some sort of category. So we're hoping this next go around we'll have an actual category for stunts.
I mean, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, everything.
These movies.
Yeah.
That's not a good movie if those stunt guy isn't doing his stuff.
Yes.
John Wick.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of
My blood pressure, and I'm not even an actor.
I
Good
know.
Lord.
Yeah.
Jeez. Let's, before I forget, because I want to get everybody's opinion on this, and we'll start with you, and then we'll go around. Who would be your dream person to work with? Either produce for, act for, just do a karate scene for?
Oh, gosh. Well, one of my good buddies just worked on Dune with, is it Denis Villeneuve? Is his name, the director for Dune? I would love to work with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty good.
The
We're
illustrious
putting this out into the universe, by the way.
Yes.
We're sending vibes.
Meryl Streep.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh, director-wise, I'm a huge fan of Jon Favreau's work. Actor-wise, I think Zoe Saldana does an excellent job in everything that she does, and that would be awesome.
Can I add actor?
Yeah. You want a kiss scene we're talking about? What are we doing?
That would be awesome. I think his name is Alexander Draymond. He was in The Last Kingdom. And I'm hooked on those shows now.
Yeah.
So I'm just now catching up, and they're old, but I put it out there.
There you go. So
I would love to act alongside and have a fight scene with Maggie Q.
So for director-wise, Guillermo del Toro. Yes, sir. I'm here, Sai Piña. And I would love to act alongside Keanu Reeves. I think Keanu Reeves he's
Whoa.
awesome. Whoa, man. Yeah.
Are they doing any more Matrix, I wonder?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I heard something about that. So what's next for you guys? What's next for you?
I'll let you guys talk about it, but Hive Mind is a series that we're going to be working on, and we were supposed to shoot July, August, but it's been pushed a little bit further out to the fall. And I think I sent you the synopsis for Hive Mind. I'll let you guys talk about it. Your characters and a little bit about general.
Generally, I would say that it's a dystopian future. There are, I don't know what all I can say. I would say that this is pretty general, though. The synopsis is that there are some people, some kids, mostly, who have special powers. There's a government who's out to get them, basically. And I'm the head of the government. I'm an antagonist. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super excited
By
about
the
it.
way, in the Arias thing, you were You saw something the government didn't want you to see.
Dun,
So
dun,
did you not learn your lesson? Now you're the oppressor. There you go. And I'll ask, which aliens built the pyramids? Because I'm really curious about that.
Well, I play Nissa in Hive Mind. I'm one of the kids.
Sarah?
I'm also one of the kids. I play Sam. And I'm excited. I think the best way that I found to describe this, so for any brown coats out there who loved Firefly and were upset about that show getting canceled, this feels kind of like a Mad Max meets Firefly vibe. So Nathan Fillion, now that you're heavily back on the circuit, come join us.
So I play a grown man. No, I'm sorry. I played John in the series, and a dystopian, and there's more power than just muscles on this show. So, that's all I can say.
What's the most challenging part about doing a fight scene?
Asking myself.
Yeah, you.
So for me, I would say the most challenging part is I saw Master Janell do this, and it's awesome. It really is an art form. It really is a skill. Because we get a script, and we think the fight's going to go a certain way in a perfect world. However, we show up on set. There's a ship in the middle. There's a wall. There's a wall right here. There's a door right here, and we have to.
I didn't train for this.
Yeah. So we improvise, and we on the spot. And it's basically fighting improv. Right. So on the spot, she adapts, we adapt, we figure out what we can and can't do, what works, what makes it look better, where the camera's going to be placed.
Right.
So it really is an art form. There's so much factors that play into it, but once it all comes together,
magic.
Beautiful. It's fun.
Can I add to that point? In Nova, there's a scene where Nova is attacking his character, and we were shooting in a hallway, and originally we thought the hallway was supposed to be much bigger than it was. And then when we actually got on set, it was like, the ceiling was right here. Yeah. And so when I'm jumping on his shoulders, we had to work around that and figure out, okay, how do you not bump your head, right? And get thrown up against the side of it.
That's awesome.
So it's, to your point, it can be challenging to work around the environmental factors of what you're given. But a lot of times those actually bring out more creative ideas. Right. So it's kind of a win situation sometimes.
Make lemons with lemonade. We are out of time. Guys, thank you so much. We'll talk a little bit after we go off because it's just been so fun. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Jake, we appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us on.
Yes.